Oh.
I'll just hold a sec. Okay, so let's share my screen so you can see it.
Is Becky there?
No.
Oh, it's good now that I can put a face to the name.
Okay. Now, can you see the photos?
Yep, I've got them on my other computer anyway. So.
Yeah, that's right. I just want to make sure they're up here. Okay, so let's go into slideshow mode.
Right, so I only got this yesterday. So.
Yeah.
I did the tracing. Okay,
Yep.
so.
Okay, well, let's just go through it before. Yeah. I want you to get out of the idea of the tracing from the point of view.
I know. I just don't. I know.
Yeah. So yeah.
You should be able to diagnose it almost without anyway.
Well, you should, and the tracing the Ceph should just be confirming what you're seeing clinically.
Correct. Yeah. I agree.
Rather than the other way around. Okay.
Correct.
So how would you describe this girl?
Okay, so she's 15.
Yep.
She's a little bit towards the dolicho, just a little bit.
Yep.
Her lower chin is actually off to the left. I think she's shifting when she closes, I think, because her lower midline is off to the left. Her upper's actually right. Anyway, sorry, skeletally, she's a little bit dolicho. Her profile isn't too bad, a little bit retrusive. It's sort of, to me, shows that I probably wouldn't want to extract if I didn't look inside her mouth, if I just looked at her face.
Yep. So you prefer not to extract based on her face. Yep. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
She's got a very strong chin.
Yes, very strong chin, which, yeah. And her lips aren't too full, they're kind of thinnish.
Yep. Okay.
Choose nasolabial angle.
Yep.
What else did I say from that?
Where would you say her upper midline is?
Oh, a little bit off to the right, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Lowest definitely to the left.
Yep. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, how would you describe her malocclusion?
Did you get the second one where I took a photo of the actual study models right on the side?
Okay.
See the class 2 or 1 or 2? Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I couldn't retract her lips anymore.
Okay. So it's actually very interesting. She's a full class 2 on the left-hand side.
Yeah, you can't appreciate that from the photo. Sorry about that.
Well, and that's exactly right. That's why the photos.
What do you do in those cases, Jeff? I couldn't retract her anymore.
Well, you're going to have to go by a clinical judgment.
Oh. Yeah, no, I meant to take good photos,
Well, I'm going to defer that question to. We've got a program in October, which is a staff training program.
Okay.
In Melbourne on October 3rd and 4th.
Okay.
$900 per person. But we've also why I'm mentioning that to you is we've got a guest lecturer called Peter Sheridan, who's an expert in photography, and he's doing a half-day program on photography.
Okay. Good.
So I think from I would rather defer that because we have the same problem because we've got hygienists taking the photos.
Yeah.
But basically, it's just a question of how you position them, how you attract. Like on one side, let's say you're doing the left-hand photo. What people tend to do is retract too much on the right-hand side.
So it doesn't allow it. Okay.
Yeah. So the right-hand side should be fairly loose, and it's the left-hand side that needs to be retracted right back, turned around, so you can get as much of the 90-degree angle. But really, I think it's really interesting to see the difference in that class 2 buccal relationship based on your models, your photos.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, no, I had a bit of a lightning bolt moment with this case, so it's good.
Yeah, well that's right, because that could be a totally different treatment plan.
Correct, it was. Yeah, when I saw that. I thought,
because you think 50% class 2.
Yeah, I know.
And now you're looking at full class 2.
Yeah, definitely. And she's got her 7s down, so.
Yeah. So, okay, so her upper midline's a little bit to the left. She's got
her upper midline lowest to the right. She's got her Upper incisors, well, they were both, the lowers are definitely retroclined, the uppers are a little bit retroclined. Class 2 full unit on the left and about 4 on the right, maybe. 4 millimeters.
4 millimeters, what on the right?
Canine.
Yeah.
Maybe more actually. Probably 6.
Yeah. So, but she's a pretty well a class 1 on the right.
Yeah.
On the molar, anyway.
On the molar, yeah. Okay.
But she's definitely a 40%.
Yeah.
Class 2 on the canine. Let's have a look at it. Well, yeah, and even here, she's probably even more of a class 2 on the relationship.
Tricky.
Yeah, when you look at the models, she's even a more class 2 on the canine.
So, if you look at the lower arch and you just look at it and you don't look at anything else, you wouldn't extract in that lower arch if you just got the photo of the lower arch. With the retrocline, if you can bring up.
I've lost the screen for a second.
Oops.
I just don't know what happened then.
So if you just bring up the photo of the lower.
Keith, are you there?
Morning, Jeff.
How are you, Keith? Okay, so at this point, Keith, so what Naomi's saying, let's have a look at here are your upper and lower arches. So you're saying, Naomi, you wouldn't extract in the lower arch?
Well, if I just looked at that lower arch and you look at the retro-inclination of those lower anteriors, you wouldn't extract. You can procline those anteriors quite easily. It was only a low MP to 82. So,
okay.
Given that, you wouldn't extract. She's got a bit of space distal to the 5. I think she just lost her E. So, yeah.
Okay. So so here we are. So her upper midline is to the right, her lower midline is to the left, and there probably is a function.
Yes, I think she's shifting to the left because of that lateral.
When you say the lateral, which lateral are you talking about?
The upper right lateral. Yeah. I think she hits it.
Yeah, she could be hitting the upper left as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. When I look at the models, it's very clear that that distal rotation of that upper left lateral is
of the upper right lateral
is hitting, and so that's why she probably goes off to the left. So that makes her class 2 really bad on that side. So.
Yes. Okay.
So what would I do? And the uppers, if you look at the upper arch, that's not. If you just look at them separately, there's no reason why you couldn't bring in those teeth.
Yeah.
If you just look at them, don't bring them together. You just look at the arches, right? And you look at the face. So then you've got to ask yourself, okay, you can bring those teeth in.
So let's just look at the set for a second. So you are dolichofacial.
Yes, dolichofacial, yeah.
Your upper and lower incisors are probably a little bit on the upright side.
And she's got a deep bite. She's about 80%.
Yep.
So what would, maybe not 80%. No, not maybe.
No, I wouldn't say she's got a deep bite.
50% maybe.
She's 3 to 4 millimeters. I mean, to be honest, if you finished her like that would be pretty acceptable.
Okay.
I think that would be pretty acceptable. Yeah.
So my thinking is, if you were, I don't know, this might sound wrong, but if you were to align these teeth and she all of a sudden stopped that shift, her class 2 wouldn't be so bad.
On which side?
On the left.
Yeah, but what about the right?
You get more class 2 on the right. So then you have to. And then you've got no choice but to take out upper 4th.
Okay. Keith, what's your thought process here?
Oh, it's a bit early for me, Jeff. I'm just listening very interestingly.
Good answer, Keith. Good answer.
Keith, you sounded like a prostodontist.
Yeah.
Most prostodontists don't wake up till about 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm still blown away by your picture, Keith. So.
I need my beauty sleep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Obviously, you've been lacking in your later years. Okay. So Naomi. So what do you reckon then?
Oh. What do I reckon? I don't want to extract, but I don't know how to fix that class 2. I mean, there's too much of it, really. You've got a whole unit. You're not going to distalize. You can't. The 7s are down.
Okay. So So tell me. So
But
just
you've got to shift. So
okay. Let's just go back a stage.
if you were to unshift her,
Just go back a stage, because when you looked at the facial photographs, you said you don't want to extract here.
no, I don't,
Okay. Why?
because she's quite flat. I mean, those lip, the mouth's not full. She has
Okay.
a intrinsic profile. It's a non-extraction case. But then,
So tell me here, Naomi, because this is very interesting. Okay.
yeah,
It's a class 2.
yeah,
Problem.
yeah,
Div 2.
yeah,
So your upper incisors are just about in a coupling situation, correct?
yeah,
So your lip position is dictated by your position of your upper incisors,
Oh.
right?
yeah.
How are you going to retract your upper incisors even if you extract teeth?
You can't because there's no overjet.
That's right. So in all honesty, the lip profile will not change in this situation.
Mm.
Even though you're going to extract here, provided you maintain some torque on those upper incisors,
Mm-hmm.
and you bring your lower anterior teeth forwards a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
you are not going to actually alter that profile. The difference is when you've got a class 2 div 1, okay, and these upper incisors are very forwards, and now you're going to retract them a significant way.
Yeah.
See, all you're going to be doing here basically is retracting your canine into a class 1 position.
The problem is it's the lower arch that's the asymmetry, not the upper. So
yeah, this will all be to do then with anchorage after you've removed the functional shift. But whatever you've got, there's no doubt that even with a functional shift, you still will have a class 2 buck relationship.
okay.
Okay, unfortunately, because the functional shift can't be that severe. I don't believe.
Really? Okay. Yeah, you're right. Even if you were to play with it on the model.
But let's say you're in this undecided position, for argument's sake, which you could be.
Which I am. I would probably align the teeth and then see what the jaw does.
Yeah, and then reassess that for extraction.
Reassess it. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I wouldn't extract at the start because, like I said, you're not really. It's not. You can fit those teeth in. It's not like you're going to round trip them that much or anything.
No, but I think you're going to end up with quite a bit of overjet.
Non-extraction. Yeah, because of the class 2, of course. But that's okay. Then you can extract and you can assess.
Yeah.
And you only do one side? No.
I probably wouldn't do. Well, I'd wait and see what's. If you're going to do non-extraction, then you're going to reassess it after you've eliminated the functional shift.
Has she got her 8 still? I don't know. She got her 8. What's the OPG show?
Yeah, but her lower right 7 is partially impacted.
Yeah, it is too. Actually, I just noticed that. Shit.
Yeah. So you're going to need to upright that. I don't know whether that's even in the arch. Yeah, you can just see it.
Just see it at the back. Yeah, I couldn't get.
It would be. Yeah, if you could talk her into having her 8s out now.
Yeah.
It will help you. Uprighting that 7. But you've got 8s forming here on the lower left, and I think you've got an 8 forming on the upper left as well. So you're not going to, but you can still take out that lower right and upper right 8.
So tell me, with that impacted lower 7, does that mean? Do you think then that you need to take out the lower arch because she's not going to grade arch length?
No, not necessarily.
She's not going to grade it. She's 15. So.
No, I definitely wouldn't be taking out anything in the lower arch.
Okay, that's good that we agree on that.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be taking it because that's when you end up with flattening of the profile.
Yeah, because that affects it. Yeah.
Because then
so is nothing wrong with level and lining?
Well, there could be. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Because now what you're going to do, and this is the downside to it. Okay, but you're just going to be aware of it. Okay, so it's not wrong. But the downside is you're going to now round trip the case. In other words, you're going to bring the teeth forward and then bring them all back again. If you're going to end up with an extraction approach.
Mm.
Okay, so you're going to increase your treatment time.
So are you saying you should decide now?
No, I'm not saying you should, but I just want you to be aware of what the downsides are. Okay. Now the other question is, okay, if you do this non-extraction, what's your risk factor? Yeah, well, what mechanics are you going to be using? Because this is something I think you need to also factor into this equation. I'm assuming if you're doing this non-extraction, Naomi, I'm assuming you're going to put your brackets on your upper and lower arch.
Yeah. Okay. Looking at her overjet. There's no reason why I couldn't. Yep.
Okay. What's going to happen when you engage that upper right canine? That upper right canine's already mesally inclined and fairly high.
Yeah, you've got to worry that because she's a little bit dolicho.
Yep.
Going to open up the bite.
Yep. So those upper anterior teeth are going to procline pretty quickly.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And the mesial rotation means that you're going to narrow the arch possibly.
Yep.
You got to watch it. She hasn't got much of an overjet on that right side.
Yep.
A bit narrow already, so.
Look at the occlusal.
But that's your inconsistent force.
Precisely. So this is what you've got to look. So you've got to say to yourself, okay, if I do this non-extraction, if I do, right, that these are the issues that I may need to address. Okay. And if the bite starts to open and all these other factors, it's erring more on the side, hey, I might need to take out some teeth. Okay. So, and that's what's sort of saying to me from a biomechanical point of view. Okay. So let's say you do this non-extraction just for argument's sake. Okay. What could you do to minimise the risk of that bite opening up?
Well, you do an open bite setup. Yeah.
But even an open bite setup here, right? If you're already in contact with the upper anteriors at this stage, right?
Yeah.
They can't really extrude, can they?
Yeah.
So if you do that, so let's say you put your brackets very gingival on these upper anteriors, okay?
Yeah.
Which is which is fair enough. And now you've got a constraint because that lateral can't extrude. So what's going to be the reciprocal side effect?
Intrusion.
Of the
back.
Yeah, of the canine.
Are you going to bypass that first and just?
Yeah, that's what that. Yeah, so this is what I'm thinking.
I would have. Yeah, in my mind, I wouldn't have bracketed it yet. I would have bypassed it, derotated that lateral.
Yep. So and you can put an open coil spring.
Put an open coil in, which would help anyway to derotate that lateral.
And how would you bring down the canine as quickly as possible?
You could do 3 class 2s possibly.
From the canine to that lower 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Just even if you're bracketed to the lower arch,
that wouldn't be much of a stretch of the elastic.
Would you just have a small elastic?
Oh, okay.
Okay, but and if you have a look, see how that 4
is distally rotates. Yeah, that would help.
And there's no contact. There's no contact here.
Yes.
That's fine. You can go ahead and you'll get some extrusion of that 4 as well at the same time.
Don't you have to align the lower arch first?
You can do this in your initial wire. Just run some very light elastics and bring that canine down, and you've got a class 2 vector going in with that canine.
Yeah.
So it's all helping you.
Okay. Yeah, I would have.
That's if you're doing this non-extraction.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you just want to manage the risk factors.
If you said before that you wouldn't extract in the lower arch, and that's right. Correct. Is there enough overjet to retract? If you don't extract in the lower arch, those lower incisors are going to procline. That's going to reduce her overjet. So is there enough overjet to retract the canine into the class 1? Well, if you don't extract in the lower arch?
Well, that's what I don't know. Okay, so this is where you probably need to do a diagnostic setup, and check your Bolton discrepancy as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because to me, all those questions that you're asking, you've got to say to yourself, why isn't there enough overjet? Yeah, if you've got a full class 2, basically, why? Yeah, so when I procline those teeth, there may be enough overjet, but your lower anterior teeth are going to come forwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the crowding. So you're probably going to need to do some IPR on the lowers.
You've still got that big class 2 to fix on the left side.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Mm.
That's why I'm thinking there might be a Bolton discrepancy somewhere.
You don't think that lower chin is off to the left? She's got a real shift, I think.
Oh, I think it's probably off to the left a little bit, but
Yeah.
that'll be, if it is, it'll be due to the functional shift. And the question is does that worry her?
Mm.
And the next part to it is, let's say the chin is off to the left for argument's sake, okay? And it does, that's a skeletal issue, okay? Either fixed with orthodontic surgery, which is the last thing you want to do in an asymmetrical case anyway, because it just never looks right, because you end up with one ramus being bowed out compared to the other. So the other option you can have at the very end of treatment, if it's a concern, is a very mild asymmetric genioplasty, where you just move the chin across.
Mm-hmm.
If it's of concern. I doubt if it will be, in all honesty.
Okay, what about taking out 3 teeth? Because you want to move the lower midline off to the right. And then you've got to take out 2 on the top to keep the midline the same.
Okay, so
would that be an option?
That could well be an option. Absolutely, that could well be an option.
Mm.
In fact, that would not be a bad option at all. If there is no mandibular shift.
Oh. Mm.
Okay, in other words, if that's where the midline discrepancy is, I'm just trying to get the front on photos. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Whoops.
Okay. So if there is no functional shift, and that is the midline discrepancy,
Mm-hmm.
okay, then yes, taking out a lower right 5 would be a good thing to do.
And 2 premolars on the top.
2 premolars on the top, and you end up leaving them full class 2
On one side.
On one side. And I've done that many, many times.
Oh boy. So, okay, so what? Mm.
Okay, so we'll get to that point in a second, because that's a very good option if there's no functional shift.
Mm.
If that is what their midline is without a functional shift, then that's a really good option. Okay?
When do you decide that?
Sorry?
When do you decide if there's no functional shift after you've removed that interference?
Yeah. And so there's a part of me that's saying, you know what to do?
What?
Because your functional shift is where?
On the lateral.
Okay, so why don't you just do a 2x4 on the upper?
Mm.
Okay, just to bring your upper anteriors out.
And then see what she does.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's no functional shift, that's a good treatment plan. If there is a functional shift, you go back to a non-extraction on the lower, and then...
No. Sorry, if there is a functional shift, then we've got to see where it's going to be following elimination of that functional shift. So, for example, she might only have a 1 millimeter functional shift.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
And if she does, then you go back to that exactly same treatment plan you're talking about. It depends on the degree.
Okay. I got it, yeah.
Okay. And now the reason I'm saying that to you is because I believe that she probably is going to need extractions. That's just my gut feeling here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm going to do extractions, okay, let's say I'm going to do extractions on the upper, then what would you do from the point of view of managing this case? Well, let's get the, okay.
Well, you could extract a 4 on one side and a 5 on the other. I don't know.
In the upper arch?
Yeah. It doesn't really matter. 4 on both sides.
Yeah, look, I'd probably do the 4 on both sides, and I'll tell you the reason why here. Okay, because what do you want to do? You want to retract that canine back.
Yeah, it makes the anchorage easier.
Yeah, and so you can start day 1. You can work on the lower arch if you want. You can start with getting the free class 2 elastics to the canines and just start retracting those back straight away.
Yeah.
So if you're doing an extraction approach, okay, which is what I think you're going to need to do, you can start to where you take out your upper 4s, maybe your lower right 5, okay, maybe, okay? Lower right 4, depending on what, lower right 4, depending on what we decide, okay?
Yeah.
And you can run some free class 2 elastics to your canines straight away. On your upper left canine, though, you would run the free class 2 elastics to the palatal to help to derotate at the same time.
From the palatal to the lower 6.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Only to help you with the derotation.
Yeah. See, I never ever thought you could do that. That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely you can. Absolutely you can. We do that very, very often.
Yeah, no, I did a band up yesterday, and the way I was thinking is so different now. Good.
Yeah, which is great because you're just trying to manage that risk.
Mm.
And at the same time, you can even as you do that, okay. Oh yeah, there's another option here because you've got you've got your lateral, which is rotated, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Which you actually want to derotate. So let's say once you get your canine down, for argument's sake, you could even run your class 2 elastic from the lingual of the lateral afterwards to help to derotate.
Oh, that's interesting. So the only reason I think might be good to extract in the lower arch is 1 tooth, like say her functional shift. I agree. I don't think the functional shift is that much. Is it will help de-impact that lower 7?
Yeah, it would do because you're going to be bringing your molar forwards somewhat.
See, I think if I don't take something out of 1 tooth out in the lower arch, that lower 7 is going to struggle, and you're going to try an upright. You're going to open up the bite more.
Yeah, so it's not a bad option.
Mm.
To take out 1 tooth, but I think the first thing we need to do is figure out where that functional shift is.
I might analyse her a bit more closely in clinically when she comes in.
Yeah, I think you need to analyse.
Ask her to close slowly.
Yeah, I think you need to analyse where it is.
Yeah.
And more importantly, analyse how much it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Because that's going to, and this is a really good case because this is what happens in orthodontics a lot. We put brackets on and the bite changes totally. And we haven't picked up the functional shift initially. And we're talking about 2 different types of cases. And it's happened to me often. You start off and you go, this patient is, you start off with a class 1 and the patient ends up being a 5 millimeter class 2 because they've actually had a functional slide, and all you've done with the brackets and the orthodontics is deprogram everything, and the mandible goes back. Because they've actually been postured forwards and muscle splintered forwards.
Mm.
So it's actually a very interesting case. I'd love to see this case documented all the way through.
Okay, I'll do that.
Because I think this would be a really interesting case.
Mm.
And it'll be really interesting to see the photos after we've got rid of the functional shift. See, this is a case here, Naomi. You can put in your upper 14 niti, your sectional wire, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then you go ahead and put in your 14 niti, maybe an 18 niti, and then you do that 018 stainless steel advancement wire just to get it forward by 2 to 3 millimeters.
Get rid of any shift. Yeah.
So we know at that point we've got rid of the shift.
Yeah.
Unless the shift is also occurring because of some posterior teeth, but I can't imagine, even if it was, that it would be to a significant degree. It's not like you've got a posterior tooth here, which is really in the way and causing the slide. You've got your premolars, which are a little bit lingually inclined, but it's not. I doubt that.
My only concern is like you're being undecisive, and you don't want to give that information, that sort of feeling to the mother, because she's going to think, don't you know what you want to do?
I think it's once again this comes down to communication.
I know.
And what I say to the patients here, I say 95% of the patients I see, I just go boom, 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 boom. Okay, but there's 5% which are really thinking patients, and you hit that. You fit that category. Mm-hmm. Okay, in a way you make them feel a bit special as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and you basically say to them, I've got to do 6 months of some preliminary work, so I can see exactly where that bite is because depending on where that bite's going to be, change our total treatment plan.
Yeah. And maybe let her know she's most likely going to have teeth out. I just need to know which ones. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think, and so if you put it to her, hey, I'm trying to do this as conservatively as possible.
Yep.
For you. And I know this is going to be the best result. But it's a bit like building a house. We've got to know what the foundations are like before we start.
Mm. So if we end up taking out 3 teeth, will the profile change still? No.
I think minimally, because I don't believe I think your lower incisors are going to stay in the same position at the end of the day.
Yep.
Because you've got the crowding anyway.
Yep.
If your lower incisors stay in the same position, your upper incisors are also going to have to be in the same position with just a bit more torque.
Yeah.
And so in all honesty, it'll be, and I've shown a couple of cases like that where you can't tell whether we took out teeth or not, provided we don't overly retract our lower incisors.
Yeah.
I'm just going to unmute Faris. Keith, are you awake again?
Just awake now, Jeff. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let me go back to that case. Okay. I don't know what happens. So what do you think about the functional shift there?
What do I think?
Yeah.
Well, I usually.
I mean, there is another option that you can do.
Okay.
And you, as a prosthodontist, should be most aware of it.
With the functional shift?
Yeah.
Well, I've looked at the initial contact in retruded position a lot, which is basically where the functional shift starts.
Exactly.
And occasionally, not very often, but occasionally I'll grind down those initial contacts to try and equilibrate somebody. That's pretty rare. You're not talking about that, are you?
Well, I'm alluding to something similar. How else can we figure out where the functional shift is?
Well, if you put turbos back on the 6s or before the functional shift takes effect, you could have a look where the midlines would be at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So, that or exactly right, or a splint.
Yeah, you could do a splint. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you need to do to get them into a relaxed state.
Yeah. Well, I use leaf gauges. I don't know if you've come across those.
Oh yeah, that was standard back in the old days.
Yeah.
So Naomi, there are a couple of other ways that you could assess it before, like even if you just put some turbos on these upper 6s.
Okay. For how long?
well, just about straight away. You're going to know. Because
before I band her up, just put turbos on.
Well, it's part of the diagnosis.
Part of the diagnosis.
Yeah, you might say, look, I just need to know exactly where you are, where your bite is. So I'm just going to put these things on the back teeth so you don't hit any of your front teeth, and then we can we'll leave those on for 4 weeks, and then we can make a final decision as to which teeth we need to remove.
Mm.
But don't build them up too big. Just build them up so that you just don't have contact on those teeth, on those anterior teeth.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And leave her for about 4 weeks so she no longer has a muscle spasm, and that becomes a centric relation position.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think it's safe to say she definitely has a shift. I mean, you can see that in her face, but it's just how much.
That's all it is.
Mm.
Because if it's 1 or 2 millimeters, we're still dealing with an extraction case because you've got a
full unit.
You've got a 5 millimeter discrepancy in the center. So that's what we need to. But that's all we need to know. So what my advice here, Naomi, will be, why don't you just do some build-ups on the posteriors, just some little build-ups. Take some photos when you do the build-ups.
Okay.
take some, and then let's see her in 4 or 5 weeks after that. Take some more photos.
You mean the turbos? Is that what you're saying by build up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take some more photos 5 or 6 weeks later, and let's discuss it at that point.
So put them on the upper or lower sixes, or it doesn't matter really?
I always tend to do it on the upper sixes, on the upper six. It's just so much easier. Oh, yeah.
I'll do a Bolton's analysis. I'll see.
Yeah, I think you want to do a Bolton's analysis. You want to do some bite turbos on the upper sixes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then let's see exactly where her shift is.
She's going to hate it.
She is, but she's going to hate it more if she needs to have if she gets the treatment plan.
But seriously, no matter what decision we come to, you're really only deciding whether or not to extract in the lower arch, because I think extraction in the upper arch is a given. Is that
so do I.
Okay.
But once again, it's also going to determine your anchorage requirements.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much of a class 2 are they?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
we're still going to have the issue of the crowding and if you do non-extraction in the lower arch, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not only the functional shift. In all honesty, when you talk about that, it's the anterior slide that may also be associated with it.
That might come forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Because usually it's not just a lateral shift; it's usually a lateral and anterior shift.
Interesting. Okay. It's a good case, actually.
Oh, it's a fascinating case, but I'd love to see it, and with the bite turbos on, and then about 4 to 6 weeks later, when the muscles are totally relaxed.
Okay. So is that instead of doing the 2x4?
Yeah, I think that's about, and that way you can plan a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah, you can still do you could do the 2x4 as well. But the big advantage of the bite turbos is now you've made sure you've eliminated any possible functional shift, even posteriorly. I don't believe there would be one, but you know what? At least you know that your diagnosis is going to be totally correct.
Yeah, correct. And you haven't done anything that you can't retract.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right.
Okay.
And if this went to APRA, for argument's sake,
no, thanks.
no. You get an orthodontist if he's bright, okay? Because I always got told, and I think this is very true, the dumbest person can ask the smartest person a question they can't answer. Right? Okay. Yeah. And so they would say, somebody would say, well, did you look at the functional shift? And if you hadn't, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you think orthodontists look at the functional shift? Absolutely, just about never, unless it's poking them in the eye.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I think your assessment is actually very, very good.
Thank you.
I think your assessment is very, very good indeed.
Thanks. Yeah.
I think we just have to go a little bit further, and really, and like Keith was saying, he might use leaf gauges.
Yeah, I've used the leaf gauges are great. Great.
Yeah, exactly. But the problem with a leaf gauge, I find, is you want to get photos at that particular point. It's very difficult to do that. So I think the posterior bite turbos would be the best thing to do.
And the reason you put it on the sixes and not on the anteriors is because you don't want to open their bite anymore.
Oh no, you could put it on. You could put it on the
Dolicho. Well.
Yeah, you put it on the upper centrals. I don't think it's going to make much difference.
Okay.
I mean, a leaf gauge is exactly that, isn't it?
What's less annoying?
Well,
for the patient, because you're sending her away for 4 weeks.
What's less annoying? I think you're going to find probably here on the posteriors, because your upper incisors are retroclined. As soon as you put your bite turbos on, it will open the bite even more so posteriorly, just because of the retronation of the upper centrals.
Sorry, if you put them on the anteriors.
Yeah. If you put them on the anteriors, because they're retroclined, so if you take it to a silly scenario, and you've got your upper central severely retroclined, and you put your bite turbos on, the bite really jacks open significantly posteriorly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'd be a bit more uncomfortable to put bite turbos on anteriorly.
I'm just thinking maybe better posteriorly because of her dolico.
Well, it would be if we were going to when we put our braces on, yes.
Yeah.
I think just to put the bite turbos for 4 weeks is probably not going to make a great deal of difference from that point of view. But I still would put them on posteriorly because I think it'd be a bit more comfortable for the patient.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion. But I think let's figure out that functional shift, and then treat and plan it from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is when I was in Philadelphia, we used to mount every model.
Oh God.
In centric relation, and we would find these type of issues. Now, do we do that now? No. Okay.
Does anyone still use face bows, Keith?
Keith, you'd still use a face bow? Keith, are you awake?
Got to sleep again.
Okay, we'll let Keith have a rest. He needs his beauty sleep. Okay, guys, that was a great case.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah.
Really good case.
Yeah.
A lot to learn from that case, but I'd love to see that in say 6 weeks' time.
Okay.
And let's follow up on that.
Sure. No problem.
Now there's no webinar next week. I'm going to be in Port Douglas, so
I feel luck.
I will be sleeping in. Okay.
I feel luck. All right.
So we'll catch up in 2 weeks' time.
See you. Thanks, Jeff.
No, thanks, Ivy. That was really fantastic. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Speak to you soon. Okay. See you guys. Bye.